Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Let me finish getting my cameras all adjusted and stuff. There we are. Hello, everybody. How are you all today? What, Kitty? Kitty? What are you mooning everybody? Kitty, don't moon everybody. Don't moon everybody. Oh, and don't throw my mouse all over the place either. I gotta go get my mouse. Hold on. My cat just not lobbed the mouse across the room. Use the force, Luke. Use the force. All right. That's right. Disney killed Luke. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's check some numbers real quick here. How's everybody doing on this Saturday afternoon? We finally, with this mystical glowing orb in the sky. I don't quite understand what it is, but all of a sudden all of my battery powered sources are starting to actually charge again. I've actually had to run on my grid for a while because all of my solar batteries have died. It's like been weeks since we've seen the sun. Kind of funny. But I'm actually drawing, right before the stream, I was actually drawing 5 amps of power into the batteries. Of course, that's probably down to like 1 or 2 right now because I think a cloud is going over the sun. But hey, we're getting everything charged up. That's good news. All right. So we're talking about the portless, or is that pointless, or is that I don't know. Is the iPhone portless or pointless? Or is the portless iPhone pointless? Or we can talk about the pointlessness of a portless iPhone. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. So let's check on in. Who is here? Shahraza, how's it going? Greetings. Andrew, hello. The Googler, animal abuse. That poor man, I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm tempting him with animal, with the temptations. He's tempted me with all the pets, you know. Jessica, how's it going there? P-Truck, hello. Tom Slick, you're looking slick. Jesse Crypto, how are you today? Be nice if I could have port 22 at least. You know, I mean, you'd think, but, you know. Saturday evening there. Well, yeah, the time travelers. We got time travelers. Time travelers on the stream, people. Time travelers on the stream. Of course, you're not, it's not Sunday for you yet, so you're not a true time traveler. You're just a time bender. Time bender, indeed. Googler has an iPhone. All right. Hello. I have become a complete GNOME fanboy. The more I use any other DE, the more I miss GNOME. Pizza, we love you anyway. I can't get into it. I just cannot get into GNOME. I've tried it so many times, and I just can't get into it. It just doesn't jive with the way I do my work. And that's the thing. If the way you do your work is... if the way you do your work is you don't run off desktops, you don't switch between task applications quite as quickly and things, I think GNOME is good for what it is, but it does not in any way jive with my workflow. It has all the slowness of Windows, but on Linux, therefore it's the best desktop. Your logic is your own, man. Your logic is your own. Googler wishes he could bend time. Robot Gamer, hello, also has an iPhone. So what do you iPhone users think of the potential of a portless version of the iPhone? Is that good? Is that bad? Let me know your thoughts there in the comments before we get started here. On GNOME on the main desktop, not too bad. To be serious, I really like the workflow. Yeah, I mean, it is completely unique. If you can get into the workflow and it works with your workflow, it's great. But for me, since I have to bounce between files, editors, previewers, and code research databases, all the application switching, Cinnamon is just the best desktop for me. Tom Slick still has a Windows phone. I liked the UI of the Windows phone. I thought it was the best UI in the phone. I actually, in that period of time, that transition period, I actually had all 4. If you remember that, for one version, BlackBerry had a smartphone. That was actually the worst. Believe it or not. They're like, we got to have our login screen be an everything monster. And so to log into your phone, you had the same micro keyboard that you'd use to type a text message or something, and you could not actually log into it very easily. It took a long time. And then the application switcher was unique, but man, it did weird things. And it actually managed to kill all of the contacts on my Verizon account. So I was actually traveling at the time, but I was still traveling with the dumb phones, which weren't hooked to anything. I was like, I'll just take them just in case. Good thing I lost all of my contacts. That BlackBerry phone nuked them all. I actually still had the dumb phones. This was back when they could still plug a dumb phone in and actually transfer your contacts. That's the only reason I call my contacts back. Wow. Kind of fun. You're a kid. You can learn new UIs quickly. Hey, I can learn new UIs too. I've experimented with a lot of different ways, and it's just for what I do. You know, Cinnamon's gotta be it. Maybe Apple should become headquartered in Portland. Why? I don't know. You can't transfer data with a wireless charger. I mean, I guess they're talking about, oh, you can airdrop everything. It's like, that's a royal pain. Like a file, sure, I get it. Convenience of a single file. To transfer like all your stuff, like I mean, I threw some music on my Nexus yesterday to take a walk with it, and it's just like throw it on there, and it was insane how easy it was to do. I could not imagine how to fight with the thing and do that. And of course, I've done the wireless transfer with Plasma before, which is sometimes works well and sometimes doesn't. You know. My daughter, love her iPhone. Personally, I'd never owned one. There you go. Hello, Bruce. Greetings. I love the Windows phone until its micro USB broke. Yeah. Yeah, the Windows phone was just too buggy to use. I love the UI better than anything else. It was an excellent UI for a phone. Horrible UI for an operating system. That's what Windows 10 is trying to do, but, you know. Excellent for a phone. Phone already has wireless charging, better than having a port for dirt to get in. Okay. Muppet Overlord, love your channel. Why, thank you, Muppet Overlord. Are you one Muppet to rule them all? Did like the old Windblow's phone design and flow was buggy. Yeah, it was buggy and just, oh man, it was buggy as all get out, and you just couldn't do much on it. Everything would crash. Use the Samsung Galaxy A20, cheap, and it works good. There you go. Use Mint and not moving. There you go. Portland, so they would learn the importance of ports. Oh, I get it. Ah, good one. That went right over my head. Awesome. Wow, I missed that one, man. Good job. Android file transfer on Linux is so quick. I'll have to check it out again sometime soon. Charging point on my S5 quote today. Not today. Oh, great. Is great today. Really loving the spit and polish of Pop OS. There you go. Get Square Home Launcher, then you get Windows Mobile on your phone. That'd be neat to try. Alt-Tab is required for me. Let's see. Bluetooth is the slowest thing I've ever attempted to transfer data with in 25 years. And it's marginally better than 56K modem, but to have Wi-Fi, but it's still a pain, yeah. Well, I am Henson. We believe Jim Henson died for our sins, and Muppets are his chosen people. Nice. Pissed me off for a day or two is Super T to open the terminal instead of Control Alt T. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, I'm forgetting all my commands now. I still know most of the GNOME commands, so now I have GNOME commands and non-GNOME commands in my head. $3 for Square Phone Pro because it's so good. All right. Like the ability to mount my phone as a directory on my machine and copy the normal way. Yeah, there you go. Is Ubuntu 18.10 stable yet? Ubuntu 18.10 is actually out of support. So you're talking 1804 or 1804. Getting there, but I still prefer the 16 package base. Hopefully the 20 is better than the 18 did. I don't know. Also, before we dive in, if you want to pick up some merchandise, shop.switchedtolinux.com. I got an email yesterday. Somebody was very frightened. They couldn't find the link. It's on the support page, and it's on every video in the description. It's shop.switchedtolinux.com. All right. Oh, cool. So Pizza has a video there to show you how to do your phone up like Windows. Cool. Let me see. Where can I put my coffee? Well, Cat's not on the desk, so I'll put him over there for now. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into this, shall we? All right. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today we're discussing this rumor around a portless iPhone. Is it portless? Is it pointless? Is it pointless if it's portless, or is it portless if it's pointless? I don't know. Tell me all of your pointless and portless jokes in the comments down below. Engagement. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive on into this discussion. So this was first reported on 9to5Mac, and this is, now there's a lot of rumors that come and go. This one is significant because it's by Ming-Chi, who is known, my apologies if I pronounced that wrong, but Ku is known as the best predictor of what Apple is doing in the market. So he's a bigwig in the production chain companies, which is why he understands what they're doing. You know, he gets all his designs in for all of the phone parts and looks at them and goes, there's no ports on this thing. Prediction. Not quite Nostradamus nor the prophet of God, but nevertheless, making some good predictions. And ever since, it was like 2011, and nearly every single prediction he's had about the iPhone has actually been true. So what he's saying here is that in 2020, we should see 4 new OLED phones, and in 2021, the upper level model would have no ports. Let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. So he looks at his individual predictions. So he's predicting an early of the year, basically an SE version phone that is effectively the same type of phone we have on the SE right now. You know, it's pretty much going to be the same thing, maybe some slightly refreshed hardware, maybe just exactly what it is. If it has no notch and a headphone jack, I might still be a customer. Especially would be good to have an iPhone for some basic testing stuff. I'm not going to buy a new one, but in my iPhone, it's a pain. The network cards don't work well, but if I get close enough to the router, I can connect to the internet just long enough to load up a website to test it. Bonus. Of course, it's still running iOS 9, so it's a little slightly out of date. But you know, with all that being said, he's also predicting late in the year at the wonderful Apple event where they decide to brick everybody's phone, so you go and buy more and go, Apple, and get more stuff. He's predicting 4 OLED phones coming out of various form factors. One of them, the SE2, which would be basically like the basic form factor of the current SE phone, but it will also it'll have all of the UI elements of the current iPhone 11, which means it's going to have no home button. By the way, no home button on a phone and a tablet is such a pain. Now, Android's never had a home button, so they've adapted well to it. Apple, you do not use it the same way. Everything's all based on gestures, which is a giant nightmare. Like, I was looking at an iPad at Verizon when they had me in there for an hour trying to figure out, you know, can I put this Verizon phone on the Verizon network, you know? And they're all brain dead over there, I think. And what ended up happening is I'm sitting there looking in their storeroom. I really think they're making you wait so you look at everything and want to buy stuff. It's like an impulse buy conspiracy theory. That's my thought. I'm sticking with it. But I'm going over there and playing with one of these new iPads. Dude, it's like, okay, I got the web browser open. Now how do I close this stupid thing? You guys sit there and it finally closed. Like, what are you doing? And I'm experiencing some of the same on iOS 12 when I got the iPad working. We'll have more on that later, but it's like every single other version of the iPad since the inception, you clicked the button and you slid it over and you entered your passcode. There's no slide anymore. You either have to hit your home button or you have to gesture the screen. If you gesture it wrong, you get a different panel. If you gesture it just right, you'll get the place where you can log in. It's like, really? That's insane. But anyway, they're looking at one of those phones and then a few other ones. And then what they're looking at in 2021 is a phone without any ports at all. The idea here is it's not going to be like, hey, this year we're going to remove all of the ports. You won't be able to get an iPhone with a port. No, they're going to do the same thing that they did with the iPhone 10. They released a series of iPhone 8 refreshes that were very similar to what people were used to. And then they're going to do one super model, hopefully not a $2,000 model like Librem. Have you lost your mind over there at Librem? And you wouldn't have a $2,000 phone, but it probably will be anyway. But it's the sleek, the new, the amazing. They pay all of your money to us. We will own your soul for a phone with no ports whatsoever. And if you look through the comments on some of these articles, the Apple fanboys are out in full-fledged. Well, it's about time. We can do all of our wireless charging. We can do that. We can do that. It's like, dude, no. It is good for transferring a few files here and there. It is good for handoff. It is good for some of these other new trendy functions that I don't even want to consider using on my device. But it is not good for overall basic maintenance and management of your device. There's a reason for this. So this week, I wanted to update my iPad. Okay. And my iPad was still running iOS 8. And really the only functional reason I have for my iPad is to test websites because I'm a web developer. I don't play games on it. I don't surf the net on it. I don't do a lot of things on it. It pretty much sits there. But you couldn't look at modern bootstrap sites on it. It was getting too old. I'm like, let's go ahead and just update this thing. Extra bonus, if I end up at like some book show or something as I'm selling books, I can get one of those little Square or PayPals and, take credit cards on the iPad. Probably can't do that if I'm still on iOS 8. But hey, a more recent iOS version, probably. So I go to push the thing, and I went into the painstaking annoyance of going into my network and enabling Apple updates because I have those updated, so Apple's not downloading gigabytes of data over my connection. And for an update, I don't want to push. And so I go in and I click the button, and it's like, oh, you have to do this one through iTunes. Fine. So I go over, and I'm like, my Mac needs updated too. Let's go ahead and update my Mac. Apparently, all the higher my Mac wants to upgrade to is Yosemite, although it did tell me it was going to update High Sierra. I ran all the updates, and I booted up the computer up, and it still says it's running Yosemite. So I don't know what the issue is, but I've also separately completely upgraded iTunes to the latest. I've went through there, rebooted the computer like 7 times, make sure there's no further updates. Plug the iPad in. Let's go ahead and update this guy. Gonna get me my iOS 12. I'm not sure I really want it, but we're gonna go ahead and get it anyway. And my iPad breaks. Really, Apple cannot fix the iPad. So of course, what do you do? When you turn it on, you get the wonderful, lovely screen that says connect your iPad to a computer. Connect to iTunes. Yeah. So I have a fun question. If your software breaks, how are you going to fix it? Now, people are saying, well, people don't realize the Apple Watch doesn't have a port either. Now, actually, some people say it does. Some people say it doesn't. Maybe it's something like the Garmin watch here has an interesting little thing where it's not technically a port, but it's those 4 dots there is basically, it's like sort of a port. It's a contact port. Basically the same thing that you would have on your old Macs before they did away with that. And with that particular type of port, it's a port without actually being a port, that would be okay, but it doesn't have seemingly any of that kind of stuff. So how do you refresh it? Well, the Apple Watch, apparently, you send it back to Apple. Oh, isn't that wonderful? You just have to refresh your software. Oh, send back to Apple. We don't know what to do. We're just going to run this thing through the shredder and send you a new one because we don't know what to do with it. We're green, going green. Shred this thing. Hey, 3 more iPads just came in. It just needs the software refresh. Shred them. Not worth our time. Shred them. Send them a new one, And so we get this kind of effect going on. What if you need to refresh this thing? You need a port to do that. So how did I end up fixing my iPad? Well, I actually had to load up a virtual machine of Windows 10. Had to upgrade that thing. And then I installed iTunes over there. Even that, now that went from failing to update to the red screen of death, which was its own fun journey. And I ended up getting it back to running on iOS 8 with the Phone Dog recovery software. So Phone Dog actually has and they charge for nearly everything you want to do. But one thing that's free on their system is to click a button. There's this Mac and Windows. I'm not sure why I'm only getting Windows links. But you can click a button and it does what's basically called a quick recovery, which basically, if my understanding is correct, when you go to update it, it's kind of like WordPress. When you go to push the update on WordPress, it drops a file in the directory called .maintenance in WordPress. And if the update is interrupted or fails in some way, it often fails to remove that .maintenance file. And what ends up happening is if you simply go in and just delete the .maintenance file, your WordPress site will probably work again. It might need a manual update, but it's, that's probably what will happen. And I guess that Apple probably does a similar thing because you click the quick button and within a hot second, boom, I had iOS 8 back again. It's like, well, that's neat. So Phone Dog got me back to iOS 8, but now on the most up-to-date system on Windows 10 on iTunes, I actually then was able to push the update to iOS 12 on the iPad. So I was able to fix, the moral of that story is I was able to fix my iPad because it had a port. Okay. Your wireless transfer is not going to function if you don't have a port to plug it in. If your software goes buggy and you don't have a port, you are completely 100% at the mercy of Apple. Okay, other people were complaining that, a lightning cable can charge the thing way faster than wireless charging. So if you're out and about, maybe you've forgotten your charger. How quick is it and easy is it to pick up a wireless charger at the local gas station? Oh, it's not? Oh, but you can pick up a cheap lightning cable. I wouldn't use it a lot, but it might get you started again on the go. There's a lot of different factors here to consider. Now, people are saying, oh, well, they wouldn't possibly do this. This is just too crazy. Well, Apple did the same thing with a headphone jack. I will not buy a phone with a headphone jack every day. I use the headphone jack on my phone. Maybe not every single day, but most days. If I take a walk and I'm not reading a book, I'm listening to something. And I use a headphone jack for that. Oh, but you can get Bluetooth headphones. I could. And then I have all sorts of connectivity issues. They're extremely expensive. They don't have the quality. I don't want Bluetooth headphones. I'm happy with my $4 headphones from Walmart that actually sound amazing and they're cheap and they're garbage. But if they break and die and I lose them, I don't care. I just go buy another $4 pair of headphones from Walmart. That's the factor. So iPhone, are they going to be getting rid of this? Well, this information came from the Best Predictor, and he makes his predictions based upon seeing the parts lists and things coming through. So it's very possible we are going to get a portless iPhone. Let me know your thoughts on a portless iPhone. Is this good? Is this bad? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Did I not mark my place? It was right around here, somewhere around there. Oh, meant 1910. I think 1910 is fine. I mean, if you're not using an LPS Ubuntu, use 1910. Just don't install Chromium. Like Ubuntu, if I wanted to install the snap, I'd install the snap. It's not like you don't make it hard to find. Yeah, I did the same thing last year. Bigger screen, smaller bezel, less orifices, and confuse people between headphone jack and SD slot. Yeah. Yeah, I do wish that my Nexus 5X had an SD slot, but to be fair, I don't really use an SD slot anyway. iPhone 4 still runs iOS 7. Nice. Jailbroke it, changed my iOS version in a text file. Now I can download modern apps. Nice. That's sweet. I actually prefer the gesture-based navigation. I hate it. It's a nightmare. It's the problem with the gesture-based is it's not consistent. It's not reliable enough. So you got to know when and where, and oftentimes you hit the button. Like I do the same thing on the Nexus. I wish I could figure out how to disable it, but there's a gesture that if you hit somewhere up near the top just right, it'll shut the screen off. I have no idea how, where or how, but I hit it every now and again. It drives me crazy. Like I'm not a fan of the gesture stuff. I do like the gesture based on my current version of Lineage, where I can go up for all the apps instead of pushing the app button. I do like that, but most part that's the case. On a tablet sucks. On a phone it's crisp. Maybe. Maybe it's gesture sucks on the tablet. It's like you actually. You picked it up wrong. It did something, but that's just Apple's mantra. You're holding it wrong, $2,000 phone for a bad as labor. Yeah. Speaking of GTA 5, works pretty good in Mint. All right. You can't charge $2,000 for a phone that can't take calls. Well, apparently you can. No, I'm a Manjaro man myself. May use Mint on my planned gaming PC. I don't like. I don't think that Mint is best for gaming, though. Muppet Overlord, ask some of the other gamers in the community, because I could be wrong. I'm not a gamer. But I actually think that Arch is probably better for gaming. You gamers that play, what is better for that? And it has to do with the fact that the gaming technology in Linux is moving really fast. And since Ubuntu based on Debian, Mint based on Ubuntu based on Debian moves a lot slower in that arena, I think you're going to get better experience on Arch for now. But consult some of the Linux gamers and find out. Really easy to fix a bricked iOS device, plug it into iTunes, and restore the iOS device through iTunes. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, no, that wasn't happening. On mine, it was perpetually bricking. It had to be fixed. Like PhoneDog was the only way I was able to fix it. But here's the question, though. If you got a bricked iOS device, how do you plug it in if there's no port? Take it apart, tap the serial console somewhere like I do with the Chinese electronics and disassemble the flash. But, oh, yeah, that's Apple. It's a brick, yeah. Apple's becoming a meme by itself, yeah. Maybe they'll come out with Apple Brick, like a mid-1980s retro phone. There you go. Hello, Cita Das. A red screen of death. Yes, look up the red screen of death. That's an exciting one. It's just a bright red screen. Portless iPhone will kill jailbreaking. Well, that might be their goal. Has a separate flash chip on its own firmware capable of flashing your iOS chip. Yeah, good luck. Live in the UK and there are plenty of wireless chargers. Okay. Knowing Apple, it will only be doable with their $30,000 proprietary reprogrammer. That's right. 4 good wireless headphones. AirPods, AirPods Pro, Galaxy Buds, and Echo Buds. None of which I would use. I mean, what's the cheapest of those? My guess is the Echo Buds. How much are they? AirPods are only good if you have an iPhone. About the ones from Google. Yeah, okay. People often say they like Windows Phone interface because it's familiar, not easier. No, it was not familiar. It was just much smoother. Did you see the Ubuntu is selling their OS on Amazon? I did not. That's pretty cool. Oh, like on AWS? Wait, what do you mean? All right, let me look that one up. Like, I mean, if you have AWS, you could always pick Ubuntu. There might be a pro version of buy on AWS. I don't know. Like, you have to pay if you want to use, like, a Windows AWS on EC2, but... Amazon Ubuntu. Official Ubuntu book? Is that the one we're talking about? Wait, that's a book. Duh. Wow. Am I that stupid, really? Apparently I'm that stupid. All right. Canonical announces Ubuntu Pro for Amazon Web Services. Let's have a look at this. All right, let me go ahead and have a quick look. Where's this over here? All right, so here's the article. So this just came out a couple days ago. Thanks for the tip on this. So Ubuntu and AWS. So new premium Ubuntu images with extended security, kernel, live patching, and more. They announced the availability of Ubuntu Pro images for web services via AWS Marketplace, covering Ubuntu 14.04, 16.04, 18.04. Premium images allow enterprises to purchase extended maintenance, broader security coverage, and critical compliance features by simply selecting and running an image on EC2 with no contract required. New Ubuntu Pro images include all the optimizations, the standard Ubuntu Amazon machine images. They are not, like, they sit there and they collect, the Ubuntu images on EC2 collect kernel headers like they're a hoarder. They're like hoarding kernel image editors. I have to get in there like once a month and do a sudo apt auto remove of my EC2 cloud because it literally fills itself up. Not optimized. I'm not even sure why or how it's doing it. It's a complete mystery to me. But anyway, hey, I should have set a cron job to do it. Anyway, the new Ubuntu Pro images include all the optimizations. Let's see. Through standard Amazon with canonical publishes AWS regions plus key security compliance subscriptions automatically enabled. Customers can purchase Ubuntu Pro directly through AWS for streamlined procurement processing, enabling quicker access to these commercial features. So 10 years of package updates and security maintenance, kernel live patch, which allows for continuous security patching at a higher uptime activity, allowing kernel security updates applied without a reboot. Customize FIPS and common criteria. Integration with AWS security and compliance features, including Security Hub, AWS Cloud Trailer, and more. Available Q1 2020. Let's see if we can get prices on that. Okay. So they're adding, I mean, that's actually a decent price, honestly. So if you don't know what you're looking at here, so AWS runs their cloud servers, like the EC2 is your basic Ubuntu build. So if you run like a Nano, for example, T3 Nano. Where's Micro? Maybe it's not available on Micro. Micro's the one I use, but you have a Nano here. So the Nano costs half a cent per hour. And to add Ubuntu Pro, it's an extra tenth of a cent for a total of 0.06 cents per hour on that. And then medium's up there to about a nickel an hour total cost. So it's actually not a bad price if you are needing that. So basic security patches, obviously it's going to have that. The Ubuntu Pro, so it looks like integration with AWS, knowledge base, 10 years, Ubuntu Advantage. So yeah, that's kind of neat. That's probably more of a serious developer type thing, but hey, more stuff to leak anyway. So that's pretty cool. Not unlike what they sell for Windows. Like you can buy a Windows server on there as well. So Pop! OS install is using Ubuntu 19.10. Pop! OS is nice because it's as rolling release as Ubuntu can get. Fire Bluetooth earbuds are great when you have 2 kids to bathe and put to bed. There you go. But are they waterproof? If you're bathing your children, are they waterproof? When the kids go, Paul! No, things are in the U.S., but here plenty of shops sell a charging box where you can have your phone charging while you shop. Nope. No, we don't have those. A couple places you might find them, but not really. What degree of irrelevance is accepted here? Hey, let's go for irrelevance. Why not? Pop! OS is the best distro for gaming. Okay, which is based on Ubuntu. Okay. How is Elementary 5 for gaming? I don't know. My guess, not very good, being is that they will even give you warning prompts when you attempt to install LibreOffice from their own app store. I'm going to guess it's not going to be fun because if you have to do any system tweaks, it's going to be a pain. I would avoid Elementary for gaming, probably. Arch has issues with some games if you don't use Steam from FlatHub. Okay, interesting to know. Probably Arch, but gaming is 5% of my use case. I'm pretty slick with Debian. Yeah. That's what I would probably do it personally on Debian myself because I'm so much more familiar with Debian than I am on Arch. KDE Neon force you to use Ubuntu snaps. My guess is it probably will because Neon's intention is not to be a distro but a testing ground for KDE applications. And so anything not related to KDE, they're just going to default to whatever Ubuntu is using. So that's my guess. What do I think of Flatpaks? I'm not a huge fan of any of them, but Flatpaks and app images I definitely would use over snaps. Flatpaks, at least you have multiple different sources, so you can choose your sources. Same with app images. Elementary OS is always broken. Yeah. Yeah, you can like you can get elementary to be decent, but it's a hard task. Like I've enabled PPA support, I've enabled desktop icons and things like that to run elementary OS. It was a giant nightmare though. Calling Strange Parts channel right now. Let's put a port into it. There you go. But maybe when the portless iPhone comes out, you just need to drill a hole in the bottom center of it, and then you can plug your phone in, your thing in. Galaxy Buds are the cheapest. Echo Buds are $10 more. Okay. $10 more. You're talking twice as much more as my headphones cost. America don't trust leaving their phones anywhere but their pockets or purse. Yeah. So like the only way that a good charging port like that would work is if you were to do one like a locker-based system, of which I've seen those do exist actually. Samsung is just as bad as Apple. Galaxy Buds only work well with Galaxy phones. They're only low latency on Galaxy phones. All right. Basically, they suck using with anything that's not a Galaxy phone. Well, not sure how Arch would be worth it. I hear people raving about Arch Linux, but they seem to only actually have praise for manual install. So, yeah, Muppet Overlord. So, I'm not advocating Arch for a community-based thing. For gaming, my guess is Arch would probably be better because gaming is still a very fast-moving thing in the Linux world, and Arch updates packages immediately versus Debian, Ubuntu, Mint. They wait for the next release. And so if you're doing something like gaming, that's anything in the field that is currently fast-moving, Arch is going to probably get you a better experience. But yeah, there's the Arch fanboy community, which is a little annoying. But like, you know, what we're saying here is if you're looking for something to game with and you want to use an Arch system, use Manjaro, which of course is a cardinal sin according to the Arch fanboys to use Manjaro. You do it right or it's not Arch. No, I just need an Arch-based package. Or like I'm running Arch Labs right now, which is just fine as well. So sudo apt auto remove is underutilized. Not by me. I think I pushed into my system like 7 times yesterday. All right, let's see if any of you Linux guys can help out with this problem. All right, so on my, I'm trying to add some fonts to my Calibora system, which is always seems to be a nightmare because they're showing up. The fonts I've added, so I've added the fonts to the system. I've updated FC cache. I've even put them into the lol user files. The fonts are still showing up in my list, but when I try to select those fonts, I'm just getting blank. So like they're showing up in the font list, but they're not actually displaying. It's the weirdest annoying thing. So right now, if I'm trying free serif, the bold version works. And that's the only version it does. Free sans, these are all the free fonts. Free sans, it looks like none of them are working. Free mono, bold italic is working, and that's it. Cannot figure out what in the world's going on with it. It's just, you know, just simply adding fonts. So the fonts are in user, share fonts, true type, free fonts. They're all set with, I set permissions to 755 on all of them. I also copied the fonts. In fact, to get them showing up in the list at all, I had to copy the fonts into the Calibora directory, which is opt Calibora 6 share fonts, true type. Dropping into there, they're showing up in the list, but only a couple of them are showing up. I tried to reinstall the fonts. That broke. They were getting working. It's something weird with caching or something. I don't know what in the world is. But if anybody can help solve that weird problem, they're showing up in the list. It's just showing up as if the text doesn't exist on the actual application itself. Kind of weird. Other people do report the same thing. Oftentimes it has to do with permission, not updating the font cache, but I've updated that. I've pushed all updates. I think what my next try will be is to make a backup of my EC2 build and actually push it to Ubuntu 18.04 and see if that resolves it. I might do that. Do a full update. Yeah, if anybody has any ideas on getting fonts to work on that cloud server, let me know. I have tried everything I could find, but needless to say, information on fixing fonts is there's not a lot of information online about it. Didn't stock Android have touch latency? I don't know. EC2 services from Amazon, yes. I have the Arch user repository in Manjaro. I'm going to eventually install Arch on my own Linux education, either PC stick or a secondary boot. Can't mess with Amazon cloud instances since you're not a developer. No, you can always get one. Soon we can take calls in the shower. Why? Excuse me, I need to wash some parts. Hello, Zero Z Gaming. So, okay, if you're saying, I'm guessing from your username that you do more gaming than I do. So he's saying Mint for gaming might work just fine. Okay, all right. Never use KDE Neon. If anything, Kubuntu is miles ahead for the average user. Okay. For a program for making bootable USBs, I just use the USB creator on Linux Mint. What do you do for a living? What are your sources of income? How interesting is your life? Are you going to stop traveling because of face scanning? Hashtag irrelevance. All right. Awesome questions. All right. Let's tackle these. What do I do for a living? I am a web developer. I am an author, and I do YouTube channels. So this is, of course, my biggest YouTube channel, although hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I'm thinking, I want to be launching my writing channel as well. So keep an eye out for that. We're teaching you how to do book production from the writing all the way up to the distribution entirely on FOSS software. That's the goal over there. Sources of income, YouTube, author royalties, obviously a little bit of investment income, web development, stuff like that. How interesting is my life? I don't know. It depends on how interesting. What do you think is interesting? My life's not as interesting as it used to be when I was crisscrossing the country selling academic software, where, I'd be going all over. All sorts of fun stories, like, sleeping in a gas station restaurant down there in Tennessee, and a bunch of hicks got in a fight outside there and started throwing beer bottles around. I thought I was going to die. All those types of things. Are we going to stop traveling because of face scanning? I actually don't. I've never really cared to fly anyway, so it doesn't really impact me a whole lot. I flew a bit for the company. I'm not afraid of flying. I just can't stand all of the crazy, security crap and all that kind of stuff. So, frankly, for me, I'm never in a hurry, so I don't generally have a big reason to get somewhere in a hot second. I'd rather just drive across the country, honestly, see the sights, see the world. So no, that's kind of it. Awesome. Thanks for the irrelevant questions, but they're very cool. Very welcome here. Awesome. All right, I'm on Pop OS because I want a stable distro that doesn't lag behind that much on kernel 5.3 and stuff. Very nice. Portless iPhone will boot to a network interface to download iOS via web like a Mac does now in restore mode. Interesting. How's it getting into my hidden networks? Got approved for 110 core VMs on Google Cloud. I launched one to do some Hashcat work. Nice. Been thinking on a triple boot for the PC. I got one at the repair shop. Needs nice. I'll get a drawing tablet. May only work on Windows and Mac. Yes. Hello, Ricky. Greetings. I'm iffy on since he wants me to learn Arch the hard way. I throw in the towel. Don't learn Arch the hard way. It depends. Like if your hobby is to learn how to use computer infrastructures, Arch is an awesome way to do that. If your hobby is doing something else, like, what do I spend most of my spare time doing? Writing books. I don't have time to mess around with computers. I want to know I can go out, go to the donut shop, go to the ice cream shop, go to the park, boot up my computer, write my book, upload my backups to my own personal cloud server, and be done with it. That's why I use Ubuntu. Not Ubuntu anymore. Peppermint. I use Ubuntu base is what I was going to say. I use Linux Mint. I use Peppermint for my main production machines. If somebody's like, oh, you got to do Arch the hard way, only if your task is to learn computers. If your objective is not to learn computers, don't worry about learning Arch the hard way. Just do what you need to do, you know? Linux is not just out there just for the computer hobbyists to do the computer stuff. If we want to see Linux in the real world, we've got to show people that it's easy to use and that it's user-friendly and that we can do stuff on it. We don't have to show that we got to get in there and build stuff from the scratch and all these types of things. We got to show the power of Linux, not the difficulties of it. That's why my channel's not in depth on a lot of that more difficult stuff. I keep thinking DT when I hear Arch fanboy. I'm not sure if he's entirely deserved. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. Anyway, see if there's a cat in here. Is there a cat in here? Kitty. Kitty, kitty. See if we got a cat. Do I hear pitter patter? I think I hear pitter patter. Kitty, kitty. Pitter patter? Kitty, kitty, pitter patter? I don't hear pitter patter. Where's the kitty? The kitty can't get fed if the kitty doesn't come. Kitty, kitty. Oh, we got kitty. We got cat. Hey, buddy. Coming up. Come for your treats. Come on. Come on for your treats. Come on up. Coming up. Come on. Coming up. He's being lazy today. Oh boy, kitty. Come on. Come on up. Jump. Jump, kitty, jump. Jump, kitty. Come on. Come on up. And there we go. Ow, 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 claw. All right, buddy cat. You ready to get some feedings? Let's get some feedings on. Let's feed the kitty. Feed the kitty. Oh boy, kitty. Gotta work for it. Show us your cuteness. Give us some paw. Give us some paw. Give us some paw. Yeah. Whoa. He's like, my bag. Get it. Yeah. There you go. One more. Here's another one for you. Oh boy, kitty. And let's do another one for you right here. Oh, are they finger licking good? They are. They're finger licking good. Yeah. That's good, huh? They're going away. Are you mooning everybody now? Like, yeah, you saw the cute side of me. Have a look at this side now. Come here, you. All right, buddy. There you go. You gonna hang out with us for a little bit, kitty, or are you gonna head out? You're like, I got my kitty treats. I'm out of here. Going back to my nice warm bed. All right. Let's see. Linux has to be just works philosophy. Try Sailing OS built for gaming and video production. Recommend Peppermint if I am to begin with Linux, because I didn't use Linux at all until now. I think Linux Mint is still slightly easier to use. Peppermint, though, I'd recommend Peppermint if you have a lower-end computer. So I run Peppermint on my writing computer, which is a Lenovo S21e, just a very, very small dual-core, like one step up from a micro PC. And it has 2 gigs of soldered RAM, and Peppermint runs absolutely flawless on that machine. It is absolutely amazing. But for your average computer, your typical computer for just starting, definitely use Linux Mint Cinnamon. It's going to give you the best overall experience. Probably sleep. I don't hear my cat. Yeah. Oh, he's still here. He's like, yeah, I'm chilling, yo. I'm just chilling. I'm chilling like a villain. Hiding in the shadows. All right. Well, he's like, nope, I'm out. I'm out of here. Stop filming me. Stop filming me. I'm taking a bath. Stop filming me. All right. Okay. Got a ton of cat hair on my mic. Yes, I do. Maybe I'll try and get it off. All right. I'm going to be playing with Ubuntu 19.10 tonight. Very nice. No outfit is complete without cat hair. Holy cow, my cat is addicted to those treats. Yeah, mine is too. They're not called temptations for no reason. QT side and GTK side. KDE is your favorite DE. All right. Well, I think this is probably a decent stopping point for the day. There's just splitting hairs. Yeah, it is. It is. It was called KDE for a long time, and that's the official name of it. It's just they've codenamed it Plasma these days. Also, mint cinnamon. So mint cinnamon will it be purpose-built machine? That machine. Oh yeah, mint cinnamon. Yes. Mint cinnamon. Let me give you. Actually, here. Let me do this. Let me give you a tour of Linux Mint Cinnamon. I'm going to do it since mine is actually more out of date. I'm actually going to show you the latest Linux Mint Cinnamon. So let's go ahead. This is actually going to be the beta. So let me go ahead and give you a quick walkthrough in case you haven't seen a lot. So this is the absolute latest Linux Mint Cinnamon 19.3 beta. And by the way, you could actually, if you're downloading it, you can just go ahead and download the beta. The beta is stable enough to be used as a daily driver. The official release is going to be out just before Christmas, so you can get this one, and then it'll just roll itself up to the full release when it's out. All right. Oh, wrong password, though. Let me type this in. All right. We'll go ahead and get this guy going, and then we'll see what we get. Uh-oh. Where'd my comments go? There my comments go. All right, so over here, when you first load in, you'll get this guy if you're in a virtual machine. You should not get it otherwise. So when you walk through your first steps, this System Snapshots is like, I'm assuming you're coming from Windows. System Snapshots is like the old Windows Restore. I personally don't bother with it because it's just, as long as you have a copy of your home folder, which this does not take, reinstalling Linux is as simple as reinstalling it and adding your home folder back in. So I don't generally set that up. I just think it's a waste of space, but depending on the user. Driver Manager is going to search for any drivers, proprietary drivers that are not installed, and give you the option to install those. The Update Manager, of course, and then you can choose between. This is the modern look, which is more like a Windows 7, Windows 10 look. You can go with a more traditional look. If you do the more traditional look, click that button. Here's the more traditional look. These are launchers instead, and it just kind of has a slightly older feel. Now, I do have a video about using the modern look. I like the way the modern looks. I just don't like the way it functions. I have a video about how you can edit this panel to make it behave like the traditional but look modern, which is what my preference is. We have system settings over here for all your things. This is all inside of your menu as well. Default, it's up here on the menu, and then you can actually get to it down here. There's your preferences as all your system settings. I think settings is also under administration here as well. Pull up the system monitor while we're at it, and we are looking at, we're using just about 1 gig of RAM on this guy, so no big deal there. And I forgot to show the kernel the other day. So we're using Linux 5 kernel. First time we had a version 5 kernel. All right, so the software manager, I like Linux Mint software manager better than anything else. We do have, if you're looking specifically for Flatpaks, you can sort just by Flatpaks. You can grab all these other guys up here as well. Here's your Steam, Google Earth. If you want to do, I think you can even install Chrome on this if you want without adding repositories. I can't remember. Maybe not. You can. You'll just have to install some repositories for that. But there's all the different tools that you'll want inside of there. And then you can launch your firewall configuration here as well. Do that. So you can set your firewall, turn it on, turn it off, set rules, whatever else you want to do. You can turn this guy off. You can reload it by going into the start menu here for welcome screen. Pretty much everything there is in the system except the switcher between your mobile, between your traditional and your modern layouts is only in the welcome screen for some reason. Linux Mint now also has this button there. At the very bottom will actually show us if there's any system warnings. So it says there's problems detected. So the problems it detected is it says, hey, there's drivers that are missing. In this case, it's VirtualBox drivers. I'm not sure why it wants me to update language packs for all these different things. I don't really want language packs. I'm going to click ignore and it will never tell me about that again. And then you can set the system root password. It'll tell you how to do that. Here's system information if you want to see that. And if you do want to upload a crash report, by default, Linux Mint never sends any information out unless you manually do that. So that's a brief tour. Of course, updates down here in the corner. You can install updates. There's also a Linux kernel manager here. So if you want to adjust your Linux kernels, you can do that. So it looks like this is the active one, 5.0. You can actually install more recent ones here as well. And then all the applications are here. You can actually click on this to not update a specific item, or you can right click and ignore all future updates of a package or ignore the current update for this package. Excellent tools on this guy. Information, history of updates to see the history. And then you can do your software sources. This sets up your system snapshots, and this is individual preferences. So you can blacklist applications, do other things like that. You can determine when the auto refresh is. By default, every 2 hours. It looks like every 2 hours and 10 minutes, I guess. So refresh the list after every 10 minutes, then refresh the list after updates every 2 hours. So that is Linux Mint in a nutshell, I think. Default this. Let's look at the file manager here. So this is Nemo, which is my favorite file manager in the Linux world. It just has a blend of different things. We can just scroll, change our size there. We have a variety of different views. You can toggle this. So if I want to access an SMB client, I can just go right to it like that. This would actually access my NAS server, or I can actually find it on the network too, just right there. So that is that. There's actually something else I did not look at when we were looking into this. There's actually a new context menu editor. So you can determine, it's like if you never run scripts, if you never run arranging icons, you can actually turn all these guys off in your context menus. So it's very cool. Setups. So that's Linux Mint in a nutshell. That's the latest version, 19.3, which is still in beta. But honestly, if you're downloading Mint, the beta is going to be just as stable as the production, so I just use that one. Begs for them every morning, needs a detoxer. Only she's sitting there doing this when she doesn't get them. Software rendering mode. Yep. Is there any way to shrink the length of the panel on Cinnamon? Ooh, I don't know. I never do that. So let me have a quick look on this one. Panel settings. I don't think there is on Cinnamon. I'm pretty sure there's not. Stark menu? I've not heard of Stark menu. No, the menu, I don't find the default menu to be clunky at all, but there is a different menu. There's a Linux Mint Advanced menu as well. There's a few other menus you can use if you don't want to use the default one. That's a little bit more advanced type stuff. Yeah, you have that. But as far as changing the size of the panel, I don't think Cinnamon supports the size of the panel. You can auto hide it though. A lot of those other things, so you can do that. The other thing what you can do, you know what? There is a workaround for that. Let me show you. Let me show you the workaround. This will be fun. I guess we'll just hang out for a little bit more. Maybe I'll record a separate video here. Let's just do a workaround for shrinking your panel. No, why did I start Windows 10? Ah, evil! It's Windows 10. I started Windows 10. Yes, power off. Just power off Windows 10. No Windows 10. Windows 10 bad. I'll just record this as a separate video. I think this would be a fun video. Let me double check if all of these are options first, though, but I think this is doable. I know Budgie this will work. Budgie has an option to shrink the panel, but I think this will also work over here. Let me just do a quick look. Turn on panel edit mode, panel settings. Okay, there's auto show. Ooh, maybe not. Hold on. Colored size. So looking for is, yeah, maybe we can't do this. On Budgie, you can make the panel completely transparent independently. That would be more complicated. So you'd actually have to edit the CSS for your file. What I was thinking of doing is moving all of the things to the center, because there's a right zone, a left zone, and a center zone. If you move everything to the center and make the panel otherwise transparent, that would actually allow you to do it. But I'm not seeing the options. Like, you can auto hide it. You can always show it. You can intelligently hide it. Font size, colored icon size. Let me check one more thing, though. System settings. Let me look at system settings. Yeah, maybe we can't. Yeah, what I was thinking of doing is just moving everything to the center, and then what you could do, it's a little bit more complicated, but what you can do is you can actually edit the CSS of your theme and make your panel transparent, completely transparent, and then you can move everything to the center. So if you want to... let me see what I can do here. No, don't want to move the panel. Get applets. I'm trying to remember if you can move stuff to the center or not. Okay. Not sure if this one, maybe it can be. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you can do this kind of stuff here. You could do something more like that, and then auto hide it. So it's not really the same, but then you could actually edit the style sheet to make the panel transparent, or certain themes might be transparent as well. I thought you could have the option of controlling the transparency of the panel, but you really can't. Now, of course, we don't really have a good way to reset the default panel, so that's going to drive me crazy until I change it back. But that's all right. That's one option, one workaround on Cinnamon. If that's important to you, you can do that on XFCE. So there's an XFCE version you can use instead. So that's something you could do. Possible to install Stark menu, like a little demo. Ah, bummer. I wish I would have. Oh, wait, is it still turned on? It is still turned on. Or is it? No, it's not still turned on. I shut it down. Remind me again. I'll try and do it a little bit. My mic is a... what's the model number on this guy? Yeah, I forget the model number. It's Audio-Technica. It's their 50th anniversary edition one. It's actually quite a slick mic in that the colors is very distinctive. So people have always said the color of this particular mic. Vocalists kind of like it because of how distinctive it is. Gotta get that thing fixed now. There you go. Yeah. So it's very distinctive in its color with the silver and light blue. Windows 10 is what made you switch to Linux. Yep. I'm with you. I've Cinnamon. Didn't see any options to reduce the length. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't there. I was looking to see if you could adjust make it transparent and then move everything to the center. That's what I would do on XFCE if I wanted to do that. Or, you know what? Here's a better option. Better option. Duh. Why did I not think of this? You could actually just throw the panel at the top with minimal stuff and just install CairoDoc. You can set up CairoDoc with any type of theming. I have a separate video. Search my channel for CairoDoc. You'll see what that is. Programmer buddy, look into adding some shrugs. Yeah. Apple wants to make a portless phone. They would have to make a wireless charging faster. Big battery, slow charging is a horrible combo. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. All right, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one up for the day. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will catch you guys later. I'll have the edited version of the Apple one out if you missed that. Forget, if you're doing your shopping for Christmas, want to use my Amazon affiliate link. That is a great way to help support the channel. And we will see you guys next time. Catch you later.